I don't get it, but what people don't seem to understand about these mantles is that it's not about Captain America, Batman, Flash, or whatever, Spider-Man. It's not about those names. Those names are popular, but to make them truly, hit, you need Peter Parker, you need Steve Rogers, you need Bruce Wayne, you need all these characters that have been built up alongside the name. That's why it's better for these. You can pass on mantles or similar powers and stuff like that, but I think the new character should make their own name, at least eventually. That's what happened with War Machine, and he became his own character because of it, which is better. But War Machine isn't getting recognition he deserves because they're not pushing War Machine. What's going on YouTube? 0088 here, and I am reviewing The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
It feels like it belongs to someone else. That shield represents a lot of things to a lot of people.
So we're partners, co-workers.
Not necessarily a team.
No. We look damn good, though.
This is a weird one because I'm reviewing a whole season without binge watching it. I have to watch it every week. Normally I've been reacting to these, but like I said, if you haven't seen it, check this link there. Why I haven't been reacting to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Watch that video if you want to know why. But I did say I was going to do a season review, and the season's over, all 6 episodes, and here's my review. Was it good? Was it bad? It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I had fun. I thought it was done well. Obviously, I had some problems with it here and there. I did say, I hope they don't make Falcon's transition to becoming Captain America a race thing, and they did do that. And they did it very, half-heartedly. Which is good, because I don't want him to go too much into politics, but at the same time, it's like, if you're going to do it, then you might as well just go all the way with it, because the half-hearted way they did it seemed like it didn't make any sense, but I'll go into that later. Let's talk about the plot first. Basically, the story of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you've got Sam, who's just been given the shield by Captain America, and he doesn't really see himself as fit for the mantle for whatever reason. He's got his own personal reasons. I think that some of them are most of them are race related. That's at least what they delved into in the show anyway. If he had other issues, we don't really see that much. And we've got Bucky, who's obviously trying to figure out his life after being the Winter Soldier, after coming out of hiding in Wakanda. Has he really, gotten rid of that dark past of him being the Winter Soldier? And what does he have to do to make amends for all the mistakes he made, whether it was with his intentions or not to make those mistakes? He's trying to get redemption. He's going through a redemption arc, even though he was never fully in control of himself, which is kind of a really interesting storyline. And then we've got the new Captain America, which is John Walker, who US agent in the comics, who I thought was probably one of the most standout characters in the entire show. And it was written really well, and I'm surprised Marvel didn't go with the typical make this new blonde white type of Captain America evil and everything, the antithesis of Sam. No, but there's actually some nuance to him. He's grey and he's interesting, and I love that they did that, which made him a standout character. This Carly chick, she's trying to fight the power because the snap happened and the whole world became one or something, and everyone was sharing resources with the whole world. Everybody's working together, and then the snap unhappened and then they said, oh, fuck it, everyone back to how it was, bring the borders back. And then Carly was like, oh, hell no, you didn't just let us do all this cool shit, and now that everyone's back, you're gonna just kick us back to all the shit we were doing. I don't even understand what her life was like before, because she sounds like she's from England. What kind of hard life does she have in England that the borders opening helped her? Wouldn't it be more interesting if she was from a really war-torn country where they were struggling? Carly probably should have been from the Middle East or something. That would have been more interesting. She could have been from, maybe I missed something. Like maybe there's something. Maybe she sounds like she's from England, but she's from somewhere like that's war-torn country and something. I must have missed something clearly because I think there was an episode where you show her back. They show her background and where she's from. And Sam comes in and they realize that there's because Carly has been made into super soldiers by the power broker, which is Sharon Carter. Spoiler. Sharon Carter was the one behind all of it, kind of. In a way, she was the main bad guy. She was the main villain of the whole thing. That's kind of mad, which makes me believe she's a Skrull, and not a very nice Skrull, because as we saw in the Captain Marvel movies, the Skrulls were nice people for some reason. The Kree were the mean people, but whatever. That's just different from the comics, but whatever. Anyway, so Sharon Carter, Skrull Carter, I think I'll call her, because the real Sharon Carter shouldn't be this evil, surely. I mean, her aunt taking the Captain America D away from her must have pissed her off, because she went mad. She started going on a mad one. She was like, Captain America, he didn't pardon me? He didn't get me pardoned? He pardoned all his friends, pardoned Bucky. What about me? Like, I was going to give you that nice, I mean, she's cute as hell, like Sharon Carter looking good, and Captain America just dissed her. She got the shield, risked her neck for her, and Captain America just didn't even pardon her. I was like, what are you doing, Steve? Like, damn. No wonder Sharon Carter's pissed. She just went on a mad one, like, you know, a woman scorn and all that shit. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, Sharon's like the main bad guy, and she's behind everything. She's the one that is making these super soldiers, and obviously Zemo gets involved because he has a massive hate, as we saw in Civil War, for super soldiers, and I love that they were consistent with that. Zemo's a really cool, interesting character. So Zemo, Bucky, and Falcon work together in order to figure out what's going on with these super soldiers, and they break Zemo out of prison. So then we find that we get some fun stuff with Zemo, and Zemo's a really cool character, and they've really leveled him up from Civil War. We see a bit more of a jovial side since he isn't hell-bent on revenge, and I love seeing that side of him. And eventually the Wakandans get involved because Zemo's out and about, and Zemo was the one that killed T'Challa's father, T'Chaka. So obviously they don't want Zemo to be roaming about free, so they're like, what the fuck's going on, Bucky? We helped you out, and then you free our arch nemesis right here, so we're going to kill him. And Bucky's like, nah, we need him. And Bucky promises that he'll give Zemo back, and then they give Zemo back, and Wakanda somehow owe Bucky a favor for some reason, so then they make the Captain America suit for Falcon. Now he's no longer Falcon, he's Captain America, okay? And I just feel like you got these cool wings and you got the Captain America outfit and the shield. Why you call yourself Captain Falcon, or even better, because Captain is in a rank in the army, so it's kind of silly for him to be called Captain. Like, it's not just a superhero title, it's a title for the army, and Falcon is kind of in the army, in the Air Force, but he's not a captain, so as far as I know. So then call yourself American Falcon. How cool is that? American Falcon. Like, that just sounds hard. Better than just taking Steve's old name, Captain America. I'm Captain America. And they really tried to push it down your throat in this last episode. Anyway, he becomes Captain America, and they go stop Carly. They have no idea that Sharon was behind everything, and US Agent John Walker gets to be US agent, and I don't know, Madam Hydra gets involved. I don't know what her game is or how she's involved. I think she said something about she planned something or whatever, but whatever, I don't know the intricate details of all the plot points, but that was a general gist of the plot. Like, I'm not saying it in full detail because I'm assuming you guys know the plot anyway. I want to get to the real meat of this review, and that's what I thought about how they represented all the characters, because clearly this was much more about the characters than the plot, and I've always said characters are usually more important than plot when it comes to storytelling and film and the TV shows and stuff like that. So let's get into the characters and what I found interesting about them. First of all, let's talk about Battlestar, Lamar. I love that they brought Lamar into it, Battlestar character. He's like a small character in the comics. He's sort of friends, I'm not too versed on it, but I know he's sort of friends with John Walker in the comics as well, and he's like his little sidekick or whatever. But I like how they used him. He didn't have much development, but he was meant to be the good side, the guy that keeps John Walker good. And when he died, John Walker just went dark. But yeah, Lamar was definitely fridged. I hate these little terms that people use now. Fridged character. Basically, fridge means when you kill off a minority or female character because to develop another character, usually white, which is kind of what Marvel did here. But look, if you need to do it, you got to do it. And Battlestar was the perfect character to do it with, because it's got a connection from the comic. You can't just give a random character to John Walker just to stop the Phrygian trope. Some of these tropes are stupid. You got to do some of these tropes. Anyway, I think Lamar's death was needed, and it worked. It's a shame, because I thought that's another example of diversity done right, where they, rather than changing characters, races, they could have easily made John Walker black, but they couldn't make John Walker black because it would ruin their racial story. If this wasn't so race filled, I have a strong feeling that John Walker would actually be black. They probably would have race changed, or Asian or something. They would have race changed him or gender changed him. But because they really wanted to go in this race aspect of they can't be a black Captain America, they had to make John Walker white and blonde like he is in the comics. So that was like, they're like, we've got to make him white now. But I just know Marvel would have made him black if they weren't doing a race storyline. But anyway, we'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, so Battlestar died. Lamar was a cool, interesting crux for Falcon and Bucky, a parallel to Sam and Steve Rogers' relationship. But I liked him. I liked his effect on John when he was alive and when he died, and it was interesting. Sam's sister, I can't remember her name, Sarah, she was alright. She was just there to give Sam some family and some stuff like that, but I haven't really got too much to say on her. I didn't really find her, you know, as an African man, like I can see she's like a more of an African looking lady, and Sam looks more Caribbean. They just don't look like siblings to me, and I can say that because I'm African. I know what like the casting was a bit weird on that one, but maybe they got different dads or different mums or something. But I'm gonna be real with you on that one. But part of, like, Sarah was just okay. Like, I didn't really have anything interesting about Sarah. She didn't really stand out to me as an interesting character, apart from like the whole bank scene and stuff like that. But yeah, and she was gonna get you to threaten Sam with. That's all I can really say on Sarah, because there's not much interesting about her to me. Moving on, we've got Isaiah Bradley, and I really liked Isaiah Bradley's character. I thought it was cool. I liked the whole like parallel to the experience they did on black people in real life back in the days. They used that as a super soldier serum and stuff like that, and like you know, all these like testing medicines on black people. They did all this dark shit in real life, and they brought Isaiah's, and he's an actual character from the comics, and the comic version of Isaiah Bradley, who actually wore the Captain America costume and all this kind of stuff, and was apparently Captain America before Steve Rogers was, is obviously a retcon in the comics. Like, Steve Rogers was the first Captain America, but then they, I think in the mid-2000s or something, they wrote Isaiah Bradley and said, what if we wrote a story about a Captain America that came before Steve and was the black Captain America, and they buried it because they didn't want a black Captain America, all this political shit. But, which is kind of an interesting concept, but I just thought, don't mess with the lore like that. Like, Steve Rogers is such an iconic character, like, you're gonna really like dirty up its history like that. And I know it's a cool parallel to real life about how pure things that we look up to and see as iconic and inspirational usually has dark secrets in it, and I thought that's an interesting parallel in the comics. But I just thought it messes with the passion and the love that we have for Steve's character as Captain America too much, and I didn't like that Isaiah Bradley comes before Steve and it's all hidden. It just makes you have this shitty feeling inside, and I get it, they want you to feel that, but it's just like, it's a bit much. It's like, there's no need to, it kind of ruins Steve's character basically. I mean, you can make him sympathetic and all that, but it just makes him like Steve Rogers, the first Captain America. It just takes away that glory from it a little bit, and I don't like that. So I was glad that in the TV show version they made Isaiah Bradley after Captain America, I believe in the 50s and stuff like that, which is cool. And that makes everything just perfect. I like the idea that they kept messing with the super soldier serum and they tested it. But the thing is though about the MCU hasn't really delved into race issues like this before, because now race and diversity and all this kind of shit, and especially after what happened in June last year, and you know, like, all of this has become such a hot talking point with the police brutality and all that. Police brutality has always been there. Systematic racism has always been there in America. But now they want to just make it part of the MCU. Like, it's always been this, MCU has this dark and racist history and that. But we got Captain America working with an Asian dude and a black dude in the Howling Commandos and stuff like that. We got like all these aliens and creatures and all this crazy stuff going on Earth, and everyone's still worried about racism. I'm telling you, if aliens come, racism ain't gonna be a thing no more. If aliens come, we've got bigger things to worry about than racism. If aliens come, we've got a whole different species, and people still going on about racism. Like, humans are, we're so petty sometimes, I swear down. But anyway, I'm just thinking the MCU making this whole big thing about racism now, it just hasn't fit in with the way they've portrayed the MCU. Like, look at Steve in the 1940s. Everybody, no one was really racist. They had literally black people and Asian people, like a diverse Howling Commandos and stuff like that. And they had Nick Fury was the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D., a black man, you know? The whole, do you know what S.H.I.E.L.D. is? Like, people know who Nick Fury is. I'm pretty sure he's like, he's got so much power and he's a black man, like, and you're going to try and tell me people won't accept a black Captain America. I get it. S.H.I.E.L.D's underground and not in your face like Captain America's in your face. Anyway, I need to get into all that kind of racial stuff when we get to Sam Wilson's character. I just thought, like, bringing all that dark race history of Isaiah Bradley just seems a bit much in the MCU right now. But even so, the storyline was really good. It was really well told. I liked the conflict between Isaiah Bradley thinking a black man as Captain America is not good, and then Sam is like trying to take that and then change it up and say no, being a black Captain America is good. And I think that's really interesting. And the bit at the end where Isaiah Bradley, they put the little section for him, and that I was almost tearing up at that bit. I really liked that bit. And obviously the young boy will be in there is going to be Patriot, so he gets inspiration to be Captain America from his granddad. He's an actual comic character, so I guess that kid's got a bright future in the MCU. Probably be in the Young Avengers with Kamala Khan and Riri Williams and all them lot, which is a weird Young Avengers because the original Young Avengers. Anyway, yeah, so I liked all that Isaiah Bradley storyline. I liked how kind of he had all this pent up hate in him that Sam's trying to cool down, trying to melt that ice in him that he's built up over the years, and it was cool. Like see Isaiah Bradley saying all this shit like, there can never be a black Captain America. You can't be black Captain America, black. Like, him saying all that stuff doesn't bother me because he's got it in him. It's been beaten in him since in the 1950s. But when Sam starts saying that, or like Bucky saying it on behalf of Sam, it's funny, you know, Sam didn't really say it too much. People were just saying it for him. Like, Bucky was like, I never really thought about what it'd be like for a black man like you to be Captain America. Like, all that kind of stuff. But Isaiah Bradley, I believed it with him, but with Sam, it just seems like now everything's racist. Anyway. Then we got Jacqueline Torres, who's probably going to be the new Falcon because he's Falcon in the comic book. So that's why we saw this Hispanic dude that's like Falcon's new buddy, and we're like, who is this guy? Why does he get so much screen time? Well, because in the comics he becomes the next Falcon, so I'm guessing he's going to take over Falcon's mantle. All these swapping of mantles and stuff is just, I don't know, man. Mantle swapping is not, I know Marvel does it in the comics a lot, kind of, but not really, because it always ends up going back to the origins. Like, the only really good mantle swapping that we've seen in comics is the Flash. Like, tell me, who's really good at giving away mantles and they make it their own? No one really. If they do make it their own, it's because they've changed their names and it's not a mantle anymore, you know? Like, Captain Marvel, she was Miss Marvel for most of her career. Like, but the only time when a mantle swap even takes effect is if the original holder of the mantle isn't that popular. Like, who is the original Captain Marvel? Most people don't really know. Like, we just see Carol Danvers all the time. The original Captain Marvel was Marvel, right? Most people don't really know that, so you can do that with her. The original Flash, Barry Allen, Wally West was the next Flash, but Wally West was Flash for such a long time that he was able to control that mantle, you know. And Barry Allen is also a good Flash. But yeah, basically the Flash is probably the only mantle that could really be passed on and actually be owned by the new person rather than that new person living in the previous person's shadow. I don't get it, but what people don't seem to understand about these mantles is that it's not about Captain America, Batman, Flash, or whatever, Spider-Man. It's not about those names. Those names are popular, but to make them truly, you know, hit, you need Peter Parker. You need Steve Rogers. You need Bruce Wayne. You need all these characters that have been built up alongside the name. That's why it's better for these. You can pass on mantles or similar powers and stuff like that, but I think the new character should make their own name. At least eventually. That's what happened with War Machine, and he became his own character because of it, which is better. Though War Machine isn't getting recognition he deserves because they're not pushing War Machine. Anyway, I'll get into that a bit more later. And then we got Carly and the Flag Smashers, and I don't give a fuck. Carly's just like, yeah. It's kind of boring to me, fam. I'm not interested in Carly, you know, like. I don't really have much to say about her. I don't really know what else to say. Like, she's just kind of there. Like, when she died, I didn't even feel anything. I didn't really care for that character, to be honest. Like, I don't know why. I mean, she was kind of cute, but like, apart from that, I didn't really care for her character that much, you know. I mean, the only interesting thing she did was when she killed Battlestar because of what it did to John Walker. I wasn't really feeling Carly. I don't really know what else to say about her. Zemo was amazing. I love seeing what they did with him. I loved as soon as Bucky came in. And then I was like, he better say the thing. He better do the thing. I can't do the Russians. I'm going to say it in English. Longing, homecoming, like whatever. You know, the magic words that makes Bucky go mad. That I think is hilarious that people do that to Sebastian Stan in real life. Anyway, the crazy words that make Bucky go mad. I was like, if he doesn't say it, I'm going to be pissed, because that's what Zemo would do. And that was the first thing he did as soon as he seen him. And then Bucky's like, nah. Like Brock Rumlow says, I don't work like that no more. And then Zemo's like, I thought I'd try it anyway, try my luck, you know. Like, that's balls, man. He's stuck in his convictions. He found the super soldier serum and he could have taken it, but he's like, nah, fam. And he's just breaking it, and like, he's like, no. I hate super soldiers and I ain't gonna be part of them and all this kind of shit, and he's trying to kill all of them. So they made Zemo very, very sympathetic. He's almost anti-villain or anti-hero. You know, you got villains, heroes, anti-heroes, anti-villains. He's almost the anti-villain who's teetering on anti-hero. Because he's not really done bad. I mean, he's done bad stuff. He's killed T'Chaka and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's kind of like Carly. He's not that different from Carly. Like, his ends justified his means, you know. Yeah, he'll kill anyone that gets in his way if he has to and stuff like that. But at the same time, he was willing to be taken. Like, he was willing to be killed by T'Challa in Civil War and by Bucky in this. He feels like he probably deserves to die, or he wants to be with his family or whatever. So there's a lot of good in Zemo, a lot more so than his comic counterpart. But was it all a front? Because at the end, I didn't really understand it. I think I missed something, but at the end it looked like Madam Hydra and Zemo might have been in cahoots. They might have been colluding or something, and it looks like Madam Hydra and Zemo they're gonna build the Thunderbolts. It's gonna be like a mixture of the Masters of Evil and the Thunderbolts. I think the Masters of Evil in the comics were like Zemo's group of all these villains and against Captain America and the Avengers, and they were like the evil Avengers basically. And the Thunderbolts was like a more newer interpretation of the evil Avengers, the Masters of Evil kind of, and I think John Walker's going to be part of that, and Zemo probably, and maybe some other characters. Dancing after about Zemo's dancing, you know, like I can't not talk about Zemo and not mention his dancing abilities. He was a funny character, man. I love the fact that he started talking about Marvin Gaye, and I love his line about only Americans would see a well-dressed black man as a pimp. And I thought that was a cool line. It's true. Only Americans would see a well-dressed black man as a pimp. But anyway, I think that was a cool callback, because that Tiger character was dressed like a pimp, but Sam Wilson in the comics was a pimp originally before he became Falcon. So I thought that was a cool little Easter egg for Sam there. And I love how they brought in his Baron title into his name. Let's talk about all three of them together: Bucky, Sam, and John Walker, and how all three of them. I'm going to talk about all three of them because they're all kind of Captain America, including Bucky, yes, because in the comics he was Captain America, and he used the shield a couple of times in this, and I wonder if the MCU will ever get there, because let's go back a few years. The MCU has been around longer than Sam Wilson in the comics has been Captain America, right? So it's kind of mad, like, how it all affects each other, because the MCU started in 2008, right? And Captain America first appeared in the MCU properly in 2011, right? And Sam Wilson as Captain America in the comics happened in 2014. So it's like, you know, they were going the route of trying to make Bucky have this redemption arc of being Captain America. You could see it in the writing, even though everyone seems to say Bucky can't be Captain America because he can't represent the American people because of all the evil shit he's done. People will never accept him. Come on, they gave him a pardon. Like the whole, I'm gonna get into that in a minute, like how good a redemption arc for Bucky storyline of Captain America would be. But anyway, let's talk about Sam and the issues with Sam I have. Sam is technically the title character of this show. Yeah, he's sharing the show with Bucky, but he is the main star, Sam Wilson as Captain America, right? Yet he had the least, in my opinion, interesting storyline of racism and all that kind of crap, because they didn't really delve into it. They could have made it more interesting by talking about how it is as him as a human being trying to become Captain America, which is a mantle for like super soldiers and people with extraordinary abilities, and he's just this human guy. And what does it mean for a human like him to take over the mantle? And can he, you know, live up to the expectations and the standards of Captain America, of Steve Rogers, what he left behind, you know? But they decided to make it, will America accept him as Captain America? Will America accept a black man as Captain America? Which is quite funny to me, because throughout the entire show, no one really cares about him being black except other black people, which is probably sort of accurate in real life, because everybody that I've seen talk about him being black and Captain America has been black people, whereas white people don't really seem to care, or at least they're probably too scared to say anything, which is that good? I don't know. You guys tell me. You got all these black people in the show saying, "Hey, that's Black Falcon. That's Black Falcon." It's like, who calls him Black Falcon? When has he been called Black Falcon ever? No one in real life, white or black, has ever called him Black Falcon. And the funny thing is, Black Panther is called Black Panther, but it's not a problem. Like, Black Panther right here, you know? Like, Black Panther's, like, why is it a problem now that he's Black Falcon? And he's never even been called Black Falcon. Why are they adding this on like it's some kind of problem? Anyway, it's just funny to me. So he's like, "No, that's not Black Falcon. That's Captain America." And I'm just like, what? That was cringy, and it was just like, come on, man. Seriously? But anyway, like, I have no problem with Sam being Captain America. I have a problem with them making the whole reason he's weird about it and the whole reason why it's cool his race. And I just think, really? Like, we're living in a world where we've had someone that's a higher rank than Captain be the face of America, and that's the President of the United States, Barack Obama. In 2008 was the President of the United States for 2 terms, and he didn't just decide to be the president. He was chosen by the American people, you know. He was voted in twice, you know. So yes, there are going to be some racists, maybe even millions of racists that don't like and wouldn't vote for Obama and wouldn't like a black Captain America being the face of America or whatever. But no one gives a fuck about them. Fuck them. Like, they don't have a voice. We don't care what they think. We care what the majority think. And the majority are cool with the idea of a black president representing America, and they're cool with a black Captain America as long as that person represents the values of the majority of the American people, which they both do. So that's why Sam is cool as Captain America. You don't need, like, the funny thing is, Isaiah Bradley, Sam himself, Bucky, they all made these big things about how, oh man, I never thought about how hard it would be for you to be Captain America, as a black man in America, and all this kind of shit, when no one even had a problem with him. He blocked the plane, he blocked the helicopter and that, and he that cool block with the wings and everything, and he came out, all the crowd were like, yeah! I mean, like, they loved him as Captain America. No one was like, my Captain America's black, what the fuck? No one is saying that. No one hates him as Captain America. And it's just so on the nose. It's like, it's trying to preach to people in real life about racism and stuff like that, and why can't there be a black man as Captain America? Has anybody ever said a black man shouldn't be Captain America? Has anyone ever been angry about that? I don't know. Like, black people, like they said in the show, black people helped build America. They built America for free. You know, you can't be angry, have people, like, show people being angry at a black person representing America. In the 1930s, 50s, 60s, 70s, sure. But I'd like to believe that we've moved past that. Yes, racism still exists. Yes, systematic racism is a terrible thing and is still ingrained in like with the Western world, in the world, right? Systematic racism is still a thing. But it's like, I don't think it's such a thing that it should affect something like being a Captain America, when it doesn't even affect the presidency of the United States. Did Barack Obama have racist detractors? Of course he did. He was going to have to. But then everybody, for whatever reason, has some kind of detractors or haters somewhere, whether it's about race. I'm sure some people hate some white people being in some power, whatever, openly. But anyway, yeah. Barack Obama is going to have some racist detractors, but everybody has detractors. But I'm sure Steve Rogers had people that hated him. They used to make fun of him in their Netflix shows, calling him the flag wearer and stuff like that. They thought it was lame. Steve Rogers had hate. Like, yes, it's not racist hate, but he had hate too. You're going to get hate for whatever reason. People are going to find a reason to hate you, you know. It just felt a little bit on the nose. Let's talk about his outfit. I thought his outfit... Everyone seems to love his outfit. I thought his outfit was kind of lame. I don't know. It's too much white in this area. Too much white here. I feel like you should go for more of a darker stealth suit look. Maybe just come up to the neck and leave it as that. No helmet, just the goggles. And that would look slick. But the white around his face makes him look kind of corny to me. I know people seem to love it. He does look cool when he's doing action scenes and he's flying through the air and he's throwing the shield, doing the flips. He looks cool as shit doing all that stuff. But then, like, when he's standing and just talking and stuff, he looks kind of corny. And I think the white, I mean, I know it's comic accurate and that's how he looks in the comic, but wow, I can't believe that. The one character they probably should have like altered a little bit, make him look more unique to the MCU. They made him look super comic accurate, and it's like, who cares about a Falcon as Captain America being comic accurate? Like, he's not even been in the comics for longer than like what 6-7 years or something, and he's already back to being Falcon in the comics. Like, if you want to be comic accurate, you've got to be comic accurate with classic characters like this dude right here, like Black Panther, you know. Let's move on to Bucky now. Bucky, this is why I think Bucky probably should have been Captain America. Now hear me out, because people are going to go crazy now. And no, literally I had this argument with someone in the forum. No, not because he's white and I prefer a white man being Captain America. If I had a choice, I prefer Steve Rogers being Captain America. Now, I'm going to go on about mantles in a minute. I've already kind of mentioned about mantles, but I want to tell you exactly what makes these mantles so unique to the original holders, or to whoever's been written the best that held the mantle. Bucky is going on a redemption arc, right? He needs to make amends for history and all the things he's done to hurt people. He's going through a list. He's like trying to fix all the terrible things he's done. And how does it not make more sense for Bucky to take the shield? Captain America, I have this image of Steve Rogers giving Bucky the shield and saying, this is your punishment or your curse and your redemption at the same time. This is for you to make amends. I want you to carry this shield. This shield is going to be your new identity. Bucky needs a new identity. He needs one, probably more than Sam ever does. Sam doesn't need one. Sam could have made Falcon huge. Like, he didn't need to lose his identity as Falcon and then take on Steve's identity that he's already made huge. It's like, I don't see how people don't see the fucked upness in it. But anyway, but Bucky needs it because Bucky has nothing. Bucky's literally like the Winter Soldier. He hasn't got a name. I mean, he could have been the White Wolf, but they didn't even go down that route of the White Wolf. At the end, it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier. They erased Sam's Falcon name and replaced it with Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And I'm just like, huh. So you changed this from Falcon and Winter Soldier to Captain America and Winter Soldier. You know the title of the second movie that Steve Rogers was in? So it's like that now. Anyway, so yeah, so Bucky doesn't even get to change, doesn't become Captain America and the White Wolf. It's Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And I'm just like, well, so what? Did Bucky not redeem himself? Like, what's going on? Like, so I just feel like, first of all, it's accurate to the comics. Secondly, it gives Bucky a chance to really prove, like, how much more interesting would a storyline of Bucky trying to prove himself? Maybe the world doesn't want him to be Captain America. That seems more believable, because they didn't even show any scenes of any antagonism towards Sam about him being Captain America. Not even one scene, which I'm kind of glad for, but because I've been annoying. But it's just like, because people won't really care. Like, literally, the moment when he landed in the streets and that, and they all cheered, none of them went, oh, what the fuck is that? That's a black Captain America. What the fuck are they doing? Why the hell is he black? Nobody said that shit. And no one will ever say that shit because it's not believable. No one's going to give a fucking 2021 about a guy, a black man wearing Captain America's outfit or whatever, you know. So Bucky, they would. Bucky is a terrorist. Bucky's a known terrorist. He's been given a pardon. He's trying to redeem himself. But how powerful would it be if we saw a series or even a movie or whatever of Bucky? He starts off as Captain America. Everyone hates him. Like, you're not my Captain America. You killed people. You're a murderer. You're a terrorist. And then Bucky has to like change the world's perception of him by using Steve's, his old best friend's mantle. And that just seems like a way more interesting story. And even without the Captain America outfit, Bucky's redemption arc was already a more interesting story than Sam's story. Same with John Walker. I thought John Walker was going to be a stereotypical one-dimensional villain. He was going to be the new Captain America. He's this white boy. Who the fuck is this guy? This ain't Steve Rogers. This ain't Sam. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Get him out of here. And he's going to be evil. And after he slammed the shield, which was a really cool episode, after he slammed the shield on that guy's face, he's going to be this evil Cap, and he's going to try and kill, and like, but he's become more of like a little anti-hero. I think he's an anti-hero in the comics as well, which is accurate, and he's become really interesting. Like, he's probably some people's actual Cap than Sam is, you know, where Sam is just like this goody two-shoes with no real conflict in him. And they made this like racial conflict that didn't really delve into, that's not really there, to be honest with you. And it's just like, it's like they've made Sam this character to represent all black people, whereas John Walker gets to represent himself. You know, John Walker gets to be his own person, whereas Sam is supposed to have the plights of all the black people in America. And it's just like, it's weird. It's like, what about Sam? Who is Sam Wilson? What does Sam feel about the show as a human being, not just as a black guy, you know, or a black man in America, you know? Like it's like the black characters are all just like monoliths of just like everyone, amalgamations of every black person in America, or maybe the world. And the white characters, they get to be, you know, evil, dark, interesting. They get to have all these complex things going on about them, like Bucky with his redemption, John Walker with his, can he live up to the mantle of Captain America? Is he as good as Steve Rogers? Can he deal with dark situations like losing his friend? And can he do it without a super soldier serum? Being a human being, having to live in this world of all these crazy super powerful beings. Like, John Walker has all these interesting storylines, and Sam's just like, yeah, he's black, so it's hard. You know, like, come on. Anyway, John Walker is so interesting because they could have easily, I was expecting them to be a big fight, Captain America versus Captain America, or US Agent versus American Falcon. I thought it was going to be a big face-off, and he's going to fly in the air, he's going to use his new shield, and all this kind of shit. It doesn't really work very well. And no, he had the choice to go after Carly, like, get revenge, and kill the bitch that killed his best friend, or he could save these civilians, these civilians in this truck that they're trying to kill. And I was like, oh, he's going to go after Carly, isn't he? He's going to go after Carly. But he went to save the civilians. I was like, yeah, I was cheering for John. I was like, go on, John. And he was saving the civilians. I was like, he picked the right choice. And then he was walking with Sam and Bucky towards, like, I think towards Carly or whatever at the end. And I was just like, wow, I was not expecting this. That twist, like, twist me up. Like, proper. I was like, wow, interesting. John is, like, a hero, kind of, but an interesting one with, like, layers and nuance, and, you know, like, he's just better written, in my opinion. I'm not saying Sam has to be evil or do bad things or anything like that, or to be interesting. I'm just saying, like, the race thing being the crux of his whole character and then being this already perfect guy is just, it's like a shadow. It's like a shadow version of Steve Rogers. Like, instead of being Sam Wilson, he's being Steve Rogers 2.0. Black version of Steve Rogers, and it just, I don't know, we've already had that character, you know? Let's see what's Sam about, what's he gonna do, you know? The Easter eggs and things like that. Sharon Carter's probably a Skrull. I think she's a Skrull. Madam Hydra, she's gonna be obviously doing some missions of US Agent. I love the fact that he became US Agent of the suit. I hope he gets his proper US Agent shield. My first time ever noticing US Agent was when I was reading the Infinity Gauntlet comic, and I see he was one of the people that disappeared in the snap. I was like, US Agent, who the hell is that? And I didn't realize there's all these other versions of Captain America. But then this is in the comics. This is how they've built the comics over 80 years of telling stories in comics. And the mantle, we're going to talk about the mantles now. The mantles always revert back to the main guy or main lady, you know? Like, we've had all these different versions of Captain America. Steve Rogers is always going to be the definitive one. Sam being a black version doesn't really, in my opinion, doesn't really mean anything. Like, because I don't think that's how you do representation. Like, what people don't seem to understand is the mantle of Captain America isn't some kind of social hierarchy stepping stone where it elevates whoever's Captain America. I mean, it might do that for Bucky, but that's because of his character and the way he's been written. But it won't do that for John Walker, and it won't do that for anybody else, you know. And plus, John Walker was a nobody before. Like, he was just a guy. If he becomes a new Captain America, he's still in Steve's shadow. He's going to be there, maybe fighting in missions if he was actually new Captain America, but he's still in Steve's shadow, just like Sam's going to be now, you know. The best way, in my opinion, to do diversity is to get these characters that have their own identities and tell more of their stories, you know. Like War Machine, he was Iron Man for a bit. He didn't take over Tony Stark as Iron Man. He's not going to become Iron Man now in the armor show. If he does, that's insane. But they know they can't keep. Imagine they all just did that. It would just be weird. Like, why can't War Machine's name be as big as Iron Man, if not bigger than Iron Man's name? You know, like, there's a whole story in Batman, in the Batman comics, where Dick Grayson, Robin into Nightwing, starts taking up the mantle of Batman because we need a Batman, and he does terribly, and nobody likes Dick Grayson as Batman because he's not Bruce Wayne, you know. Like, Captain America isn't Captain America because of the title Captain America. Captain America is Captain America because of Steve Rogers, you know. Chris Evans is Steve Rogers, whatever. In the comics, Steve Rogers is a definitive Captain America and always will be. So having someone take up the mantle for some kind of representation or political reason isn't the one. I'm not saying Sam can't take up the mantle. Taking up the mantle in storylines is cool. I'm cool with that. That's what people probably want to understand now. But making it some big representation, I'm crying like, oh my god, a black man is Captain America. It's just some pretentious bullshit, in my opinion, because the mantle will always belong to Steve Rogers. Like, if you really want real good representation, we need to see black characters have proper stories. Like, Falcon should have had his own movie. Falcon should have been delved into more as a character, as a person. What makes him tick? Well, a storyline. Tell a storyline. Build these characters up into bigger characters. You know, we didn't know who Star-Lord was before 2014. Almost no one knew who he was. Now he's his own man, his own character. He's popular as hell. Falcon could be like that. War Machine could be like that. Don't just leave them as sidekicks. Him being Captain America isn't really going to elevate him much. But it will, because they're going to write it to elevate him now. But they didn't need to do that. He doesn't need to take up, because you're making the mantle more important than the characters inside the mantles. The mantles don't mean shit. It's the characters that are inside the mantles that make them special, you know? I hope people understand that when I'm saying all this. Like, I'm not saying the idea of a character taking up a mantle is bad storytelling, because it would work perfectly for Bucky as a redemption arc story. And he doesn't even need to keep being Captain America. He just needs to use it to make himself be seen positively in the eyes of the world and the American people. And using the Captain America mantle, the mantle of his best friend, was a perfect storytelling tool to do that. Whereas Sam didn't need it. He was already a good person. He didn't need to take up the mantle. He didn't need to do it for black people. He didn't need to do it for anyone. So, like, and there doesn't need to be a Captain America. Like, they're making it seem like there needs to be a Captain America for the world to work or something. Like, no, like, Steve, that's just his thing. That's just his identity as a hero. Like, him being Captain America, if anything, is like against what modern people think. That's why they wanted to turn Captain America in the comics into like Captain World or Captain Planet or whatever. I think that name's taken. But like, because they used to think, I remember when they wouldn't make a Captain America movie for a long time because they were worried that it would be too patriotic and it would be in the face of the rest of the world. It won't make any money and stuff like that. So, you know, if Nigeria doesn't need a Captain Nigeria, or France isn't the Captain France, even Captain Britain, it doesn't really need a Captain. I know there is a Captain Britain, but it doesn't really need one. Then America doesn't really need a Captain America like that every time. Steve Rogers' Captain America is cool, but once he's gone, the mantle can rest with him. Like, maybe you can pass the shield on, but that's where Falcon could take the shield and become, you know, American Falcon or something like that, or just use the shield. Like, it doesn't even need to be Captain America. But I don't have a problem with him being Captain America. I need to keep saying this because people won't understand, but I'm just saying, like, to make it about some kind of level up for black people or level up for representation seems like disingenuous and a bit fake to me, you know. And I didn't want this storyline to be about race, and it became about race. I wanted it to be more about if Sam can handle taking up the mantle and how he feels about it as a human being. I do love his speech at the end, was pretty cool. It was interesting. It was a bit lame that he did it right then and there. He was like just on his high horse. He's trying to be like how Steve did that speech to the whole of Hydra / Shield in the Winter Soldier, which felt a lot more natural because he was trying to gather, you know, people to fight for him and to like have people fight against Hydra, whereas Sam was just on his high horse just talking. You know, like, there was nothing he was trying to really do. I mean, he was trying to get the governments to like not do the crazy shit they're going to do with like closing the borders or whatever they're going to do, but it just felt it went on a bit too long, and it just felt a bit like they're trying to make him Captain America here, whereas that speech in Winter Soldier didn't feel like they were trying to make him Captain America. They were just felt like that's what Steve would naturally do because that's how it's been written, you know. I don't know. It just, like, I like the speech, I like the things he was saying, but maybe it was not at the right time. I don't know. Just something felt a bit off about it slightly. But again, I love the Isaiah Bradley bit at the end. I thought all that stuff about race, because that was in the 50s, that resonated with me. I thought that was emotional and stuff like that. But with the whole, like, a black man being Captain America was just, everyone was saying it, how bad it would be without showing it. Millions of people are going to be mad at me for being Captain America. Millions of people are going to hate me being Captain America because I'm black. But they don't show any of that. And I'm just like, who's these people? Like, it's like they're just creating this boogeyman, and it's like, it's just, they're creating this antagonist for Sam, and we don't even see who it is. But yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts. Bring on the dislikes. And I didn't think I was going to go into it that much about the whole race aspect, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the series. Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I think there's going to be a sequel, it looks like, the way it ended, and with US Agent. Either they're going to go into a movie or a sequel. I think it's going to be a sequel. Whereas WandaVision felt like it wrapped up, this feels like it's going to have a sequel season, and I'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully, like, I didn't like when Isaiah Bradley said, "This is going to be hard for you, man," because it's like, oh man, it's going to be even more about race. All these racist characters are going to show up. You ain't black, you ain't all Captain America. US Agent is all Captain America. You're black. I hope they don't do that for season 2. Please don't do that. Just make Captain America just fight bad guys as Captain America, and then maybe down the line in a few seasons when Anthony Mackie's retired and he's tired of playing the character, if Sebastian Stan is still there, maybe he can wear the mantle and they could do that redemption arc line. But I feel like by season 2, Bucky's like wearing his sunglasses, a dancer with the kids. Like at this point, I think he's happy, and I think the redemption arc potential for him being Captain America is kind of done now. There will be a little bit more redemption for him in season 2, and then once that's done, he's going to be completely White Wolf or whatever they're going to make him be in the MCU. But yeah, change the suit. I don't like the white. It looks a bit corny, but when he's fighting, it looks cool as shit. I want to watch some of those action scenes again. And people think I'm contradicting myself. I like the idea of him as Captain America. I just don't like the whole massive racial undertones they put on it. Like they're making the race factor of him being Captain America the reason why, his plot, basically his storyline. Why is that the plot? I don't like that part. But I like him being Captain America because it just looks cool with the wings and stuff like. It's just cool iconography, But at the end of the day, Steve Rogers is always going to be the #1 Captain America. Even in the comics, Falcon has given up the mantle and he's just wasted his time. And now Steve Rogers is Captain America again in the comics, So rather than wasting time building up someone else's identity, Falcon should have been building his own one up. Let's have some Falcon series. Let's make some Falcon comics, Let's build his lore, build his story up a bit more, But yeah. Anyway, before I go off another tangent, that's my review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, season 1. If you liked it, give me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about your thoughts, and don't be too mean with the dislikes, with all like, you don't understand American racism, you're a black African guy from England, you don't know nothing about American racism, or whatever. I know you're going to start saying all that shit in the comments. Just, if you're going to do it, just be civil about it, and let's hash it out in the comment section. I might even do a live stream talking about my thoughts on all this, if it requires it. Alright, thanks guys, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching, peace.